do have some comments. I guess a little bit disappointed that we can't do this bill and this amendment on a bipartisan way. And the reason why I say that, Mr. Meadows, is because I know that you've talked to displaced workers that were furloughed during the shutdown. So I know that you know how difficult life has been for them in the last 35 days. So we agree on that. You also know that there was a pay freeze last year for them. In my opinion, we should be arguing about doubling the 2.6 instead of whether they should get a 2.6. I absolutely agree that there are times in need that we need to freeze salaries. I agree with that 100%. I'm from California, and I've had to deal with a 6-month shutdown. We had to reduce the state government by 1/3. I know how it is to make those very, very tough decisions. It's not easy. But I also know how those really, really tough decisions can impact our workforce. We don't have a downturn in the economy right now as we did in the past. As a matter of fact, according to President Trump, we're looking really good and everybody's winning. The economy is looking really good. So if the economy is looking really good for the 1%, we should try to figure out how to make that 99% a little better. I want to tell you about an experience that I had at Ontario Airport on Friday when I visited with furloughed workers. I talked to a worker who was in the process of purchasing a home. In California, it's really tough to even get into this bid process, right? You're outbid from right under, and if you're trying to qualify for an FHA loan, it's extremely difficult to even find a property that would be financed through an FHA loan. This young couple went through all that. They had just adopted a young girl, and they got caught up. They went, going through the process of trying to simply verify their employment. Couldn't get that done because the agency was shut down. They couldn't get a loan from their credit union because, as you know, when you're going through escrow, you can't show more debt than what you currently show, or you won't close escrow. You can't afford to be late on payments because that's a negative. Anything that you do during that 30-day process will result in your credit score being lowered, and it would be a negative impact on closing escrow. So it's a very, very difficult time for them. Having to employ or try to recruit employees into some of our departments is very difficult already as it is because we are not the top paying employer. Some of our agencies are incredibly frustrated in trying to maintain that talent. We will see the impact of the shutdown in the next 10 years because a lot of talented individuals, that historical knowledge we will have lost because they're going to go somewhere else if they haven't already left. So we're having to deal with that. A 2.6 increase, I think it's the bottom of the barrel that we can offer. Since we're not offering them any interest on their lost pay, most financial institutions would only give them a 14-day loan. That's why we saw the food banks. That's why we saw all of those other things, the assistance that they needed, because they couldn't sustain themselves for 35 days. I'm really hoping that, through this, we can work together and really look at our workforce We need to appreciate them for the great job that they do. And I don't think that we want to come across the shutdown as uncaring about our own employees. I think we have to show them that we do care about them and that we stand together in solidarity with them, and that last year's pay freeze was unfortunate. We don't have an economic crisis, so there is really no reason for us to do that, other than we want to find something to argue about. I don't think that this is it. I fully support this amendment. I fully support this bill. I wish it was higher than 2.6%, but I think that this is the beginning of reaching out to our employees, and it's a good faith of showing them that we care about them and we want them to stay. With that, I yield back.
Thank you.